So, this is Marvel's Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, developed by Insomniac Games. As I play through, this is going to be aiming for 100%, that is collecting everything, that is clearing all the story missions, clearing or all the side missions, and unlocking all the power-ups. We're going to start a new game on the hardest difficulty, which is Ultimate Difficulty. As for these other options, we're just going to turn subtitles on. And this is going to be post-commentated because this game is very dialogue-heavy, and I don't want to catch myself talking during actual gameplay. So I'll just chime in where necessary. But for the most part, I'll let the game tell the story, and I'll just take a back seat. So hopefully you enjoy.
All units, level 4 mobilization. Location, Fisk Tower.
Fisk?
SWAT is 1084 at Fisk Tower. All units stand by. Warrant is en route.
So every playthrough there will be on-screen prompts telling you, hey, here's how you control the game, even in New Game Plus. So get used to seeing those.
Did you take him down yet?
No. We're at Fisk Tower, but still waiting on the warrant.
Mind if I join in on the fun?
You know how his lawyers are. This one needs to go by book.
Come on, Yuri. I've been waiting 8 years for this.
You really want to help? Head to Times Square. Sounds like his guys are trying to keep my backup from reaching the scene.
You got it. Almost there.
So web swinging in this game feels really fun, even if it's just as simple as hold right trigger whenever you're close to buildings, press X whenever you need to zoom forward a little bit, press L and R to zip to a point, and then launch off of it.
Hello?
Parker, where are you? We must run through the demonstration at least once before the grant committee arrives.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Dealing with a personal issue. I'll be in soon. Promise. Better wrap this up quick than get to my real job. Looks like Yuri called in the cavalry.
The feeling of momentum you get from swinging on things is really exhilarating.
Times Square. Officers under fire.
bring in the hammer.
Morning, guys. Who's ready for their hot, fresh cup of bodily harm?
So combat in this game is a little simple by a lot of beat-em-up standards, I guess. You have your standard attack button, you have your homing attack button, you have your dodge button, you have your jump button, your projectile button, and you can pretty much just string any of those together to engage in combat. If you hold the button on anything, like if you hold square or hold triangle, you get a different move than if you just tapped it. So like what I'm doing here with juggling people in the air, that's due to me holding the square button to launch them into the air, pressing square again to follow it up, and then just continually punching from there. You can also grab things in the environment using the two bumpers, and Spider-Man will automatically swing those things at his opponents. Of course, you also have your two different types of bad guys. You have your gun toters, you have your brawlers, and a couple of others that we'll see later. But the gun wielders can hit you from a distance, and if you're not paying attention to the bullet lines that show up, you may end up taking a lot of damage. Especially on the hardest difficulty, because at this level, a single shot could do at least a third of your health. So, by using your web shooter, which is your projectile, you don't actually do damage, but you do coat them in a film of web, and if you coat them in enough of web, then they can't move for a while. If you do it while they're against the wall like this, they get trapped and they are considered out of the fight entirely. So if you want to end a fight early, pin someone up against a wall or floor and just shoot web at them. It's a valid strategy.
Spider-Man, what's your status?
Almost done here. You?
We're about to go in.
Be there soon. Can't wait to see Willie's face when you slap the cuffs on.
It's always fun to do air combat in this because you can string together so many attacks even without any upgrades. You can follow them up with your homing attack after sending them away with your standard attack, shoot them down a little bit, and then finish them off. Or just send them into the fire, you know, because Spider-Man doesn't kill people. Fire kills people. Gravity kills people. There will be these on-screen prompts or tutorials showing up. I'm going to cover most of what they're talking about anyway, so try to ignore them as best you can, I guess. But if this is your first time playing through the game, take heed of them.
Okay, Yuri, all done. What's happening? Yuri? Yuri! I knew Fisk wouldn't go quietly.
So even though swinging and combat are kind of simple in execution, they do feel very satisfying to pull off. Swinging feels fun. It's simple, but it's fun. Fighting feels fun. It's simple, again, but it's fun.
Get more backup and lock down the airspace.
Yuri, you okay?
If he makes it out of that building, we're gonna lose him.
I'm gonna go,
Do your thing.
Yes! He's the day, Willie! Heads up! Hey, where are you going? Get! I'll clear a path. Follow me!
Get out of here, Spider-Man. We got this!
So, here's your focus meter. Basically, by attacking a lot, you're going to build it up, and if the meter reaches full, you're able to pull off a powerful finisher. or while it's at any point in the progress of the meter, you're able to heal using the accumulated focus you have. Usually it's best to wait till you have a full bar of focus to fully heal, because there are times where you realize, oh, I need to heal now, but you only have like a little bit of focus accumulated, so you can't play recklessly. But once it says focus bar full on your upper HUD, or if you can see your bar is fully green on the upper left, you have full focus to use. If you press down on the D-pad, you can heal. And I don't recall if I get a finisher in here, but once I get full focus meter again, you can press triangle and circle next to somebody, and they will... Oh, you actually can't use the finisher here. They will be instantly KO'd if you use the finisher on them. So use that against enemies who you haven't really beaten up against, or beaten up on, and that's a quick way of clearing them out. So if you want to stay in combat for a lengthy period of time, make liberal use out of your homing attack, which is triangle, the web zip. Oh, the web strike, I'm sorry. You can also hop off of enemies if you press the jump button while you're attacking them, either in the air or on the ground.
Down, down, down!
Gotta take those shooters out.
Whoop. Whoa. Hello, I'm Spider-Man. Anyway. So the tutorial here is telling you that you can just shoot web at enemies. You don't have to. But as explained earlier, if you shoot them up against a wall and hit them with enough web shots, then they are out of the fight entirely. I don't think you do any more damage to enemies if you hit them up against a wall like this.
I think that's all of them.
You might.
Come on, come on! They shut the elevators down! Take the stairs!
I prefer a more direct approach.
Spider-Man, status.
Heading to the upper floors, and hoping nobody turns on the elevators.
Our choppers are taking fire. Looks like Fisk has armed men on every floor.
He's desperate.
And he's hitting us with everything he's got.
I have to find him and end this.
Not yet. We just picked up chatter. They're wiping all their data servers. We need that evidence if we want to put him away for good.
Okay, server room it is.
Hostiles, next floor up!
That's call from May. Better answer. Hi, Aunt May.
What is all that noise?
Watching a superhero movie. What's up?
I just wanted to make sure we're still on for dinner tomorrow night.
Totally. Listen, I gotta go.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Another way of taking enemies out really quickly is to knock them off of platforms. As said earlier, Spider-Man doesn't kill people, gravity does. However, this is not entirely true. If you throw someone off a high platform, they're still safe. They will get webbed onto the nearest wall as they fall. So here's a finisher. If you have full focus, you're able to pull this off, and just for this area, it'll teach you. It's teaching you about the finishers, so it's going to keep refilling your focus bar. But this doesn't normally happen. You have three types of finishers that you can pull off. There's one when you're on the ground with another grounded opponent. There's one you can do when both you and your opponent are in the air, and there's one you can do when you're in the air but your opponent is on the ground. You have different animations for all of them except for the air-to-ground finisher. And those cycle through after maybe 5 different animations, but they all look really fun to pull off. But if you need to conserve your focus for healing, then by all means.
Server room before there's no evidence left. If I go in this way, they'll destroy all the evidence. I should look for a sneaky way in. There we go. It's like my own private ventrance. Fisk may be a dirty criminal, but he has remarkably clean air vents.
Hurry up. Boss wants everything erased. Can't make it delete any faster.
Stealth?
They're so cute when they're oblivious.
Cops coming. Halfway there. Need another minute or two. Think the cops know where we are?
Is this tech support? I forgot my password.
Spider-Man! Don't let him near the console!
You do have a time limit for this, so if you don't beat up these guys in the minute that you're given, then you fail, and you need to restart from checkpoint.
I thought the IT guys in my lab.
Alternatively, if you lose all your health at this point, you have to restart a checkpoint as well. So, yeah, do this quick. With ultimate difficulty, this is definitely a little trickier than base game. Especially considering there are actually more enemies here than in standard difficulty.
10 seconds remaining.
And you can't access the computer until you beat up everybody.
5 seconds until deletion.
Gotta access that console before everything's gone. Let's see just how good their security is. Aw, you guys forgot the latest kernel patch.
Hiding in the server. Cowardly. Even for you.
Says the guy frantically erasing his search history.
After all these years, you're still just an ignorant child.
True, but that's part of my charm, isn't it?
Damn you. Get that door down now!
So if you launch somebody, you can then hold the triangle button to bring them back down. And Spider-Man will home in on the nearest enemy with that yank down. You can also do a similar move when you're in the air against an airborne opponent as well, where you pretty much just slam them down towards the nearest opponent. This could be good for clearing the way, if not for how slow it can be. So be careful when using it.
We'll get ready for the main event.
The tutorial is pretty much trying to teach you this move so you can learn, oh, this is how I can deal with large groups of enemies. That's a fun finisher. But again, if there are gun wielders, your best interest might be to take them out first, because they can hit you from a distance if you're not paying close enough attention. And the tell for when you're supposed to dodge is the Spidey sense that appears over Spider-Man's head. That means that if you press circle to dodge, you're able to avoid any attack that he's sensing.
Yuri, an explosion just...
I saw it. Fisk could have the whole place wired. I'm sending in a bomb unit.
I'll make sure no one gets in their way.
If you dodge 1 second early or 1 second too late, it may hurt more than you think.
Got more where that came from.
And again, gravity.
You figure out we're not playing yet?
I think that's all of them.
It's clear. Move up.
Hey guys, I guess bombs are part of Willie's getaway plan? Sounds like they're trapped.
You go after them. We'll look for the bombs.
Whoops.
Trapped by the left. Everyone clear out! Evacuate the building!
So this is kind of teaching you that hostage rescue is part of being a hero or a vigilante.
Spider-Man! We can't move! We're pinned down!
I'll lift it. When you're free, get out fast. If you can walk, help the injured. Got it?
Quick time events. These will become a little more prominent as the game progresses, as in story beats may not have a whole lot of quick time events, but if you do some of the side missions, you may run into a lot of them. Especially with hostages.
Thank you! We did it! Let's go!
Okay, Willie. Coming your way.
Spider-Man, it's Yuri.
How we doing, Captain?
Could be better. Our choppers took a beating. We just had to ground our last one. If Fisk calls in a chopper, we have no one to stop it from landing.
and no one to chase him if he flies away.
Why do I get the feeling that's what he was planning all along?
Because he probably was. Damn. Yuri, get EMTs up here, fast!
We're trying.
Uh-oh.
Incoming!
Again, once you see the spider sentence, just push the circle button, you should be fine. But yeah, RPG guys,
That's enough.
their missiles home in on you. So unless you dodge, they are going to hit you. Get out of here. Dodge. Later on with the right upgrades, you get heavily rewarded for being very attentive.
What? Is it National Rocket Day or something?
And to finish him off, into the statue. Nope. There's an invisible wall. Or maybe glass. Who knows? There's also parkour in this game.
How'd the bomb squad guys get through this?
You don't have to swing everywhere, you can just run over things.
Get him!
Settle down. I've got enough for everybody.
So, if you're clinging onto a wall, either by using a dodge or by just staying on it with the X button, you can press the square button, the regular melee attack, to charge into the nearest person and send them flying into someone else, potentially.
Okay, room is clear. Bomb squad must be somewhere ahead. Hope they're okay. You guys all right?
We were just about to call for backup.
I think I'm it.
Lead the way. We'll be right behind you. Heads up, boss.
Shield guys. Basically, feign an attack on them, press the circle button, and you'll dodge underneath them, and you can hit them from behind. You can also do this for any enemy, however, shielded enemies only take damage from the back or when they're stunned by something. So you can throw something at them to stun them,
On to plan B. Getting kicked in the face.
or you could just do the dodge under move. And if you immediately dodge under them and attack, you will do a double kick, and that will send them flying. That's a good way of giving you some breathing room if you need it. But yeah, once they're caught in a combo, you can just take them out that way. They won't pull up their shield until they get some breathing room of their own. Pointlessly wailing on their shield is not an optimal strategy.
Hey, Yuri. Looks like some of your guys were on Fisk's payroll. Good news is, they were Willie's last line of defense. I'm right outside his office.
Take him down, now.
With pleasure. Writing your memoirs? Don't forget the hyphen between spider and man.
Get the chopper ready. I won't be long. I'm surprised you made it this far. But your foolishness ends now.
You do know I can still see you, right?
8 years of this insolence.
Oh, for me? You shouldn't have! Gotta wait for an opening.
So you can just push the circle button to dodge willy-nilly whenever you want to. And it still will help you in this part because the turrets just won't hit you while you're constantly dodging. But yeah, just web them up. About 5 of your web shots will do it, and then you just fling it at this wall automatically.
How is this happening?
What's wrong, Willie? You seem angry.
I will destroy you!
your best shot.
You can also grab incoming debris if an enemy does that, but it's very infrequent, so if you forget that you can do that, then it's totally understandable. So Fisk is kind of an easy boss fight. He'll charge at you, but as long as you have that Spidey sense awareness, or just mash the circle button, you're pretty much safe. But you just need to web him up or fire a projectile at him. That is to say, find something in the room and fling it at him. And just keep doing this over and over. You also need to wait for an opening to hit him, otherwise he is going to hit you really hard. He's sometimes very relentless, so be careful. Your standard 4-hit combo is basically the only way you're going to be hurting him at this point in the game.
You are everything that's wrong with this city!
Huh. I was gonna say the same to you.
You know what to do, men! Surround him! You fool!
And that was something that only normally happens when you're in stealth mode. If enemies haven't noticed you yet, you're able to instantly take them out using your web strike attack. So me taking out that crony just immediately was an accident. You can also use a finisher on Fisk, but it won't actually finish him. It just does a good amount of damage to him. If you want to recharge your focus, just use his cronies. That's the best way of getting back more focus. And if they are proving to be a bit too much for you to handle, don't be afraid to run away for a little bit and try to recharge your batteries. Or your own player focus, not Spider-Man focus.
What do I pay you for? No! I can handle myself!
So again, dodging like a crazy man. Crazy Spider-Man. A valid strategy at this point, because Fisk is terrifying.
Where are the reinforcements?
Whoop. You also can't web strike him, because he will grab your web and just throw you away. To web him up or throw something at him, and then he's able to be struck. Whoop. Time to finish him. More quick time events.
So, should we kiss now? Yeah, maybe later. Finally off to Rikers, huh? You know, I think you've got more enemies in there than I do.
If you think this will be more than a minor inconvenience...
Whoop, gotta go. Hey, good luck, Willie. I have a feeling you're gonna need it.
Idiot! I'm the one who kept order in this city! 1 month! In 1 month you'll wish you had me back!
The Kingpin is heading to prison. End of an era. I feel like I should celebrate. Maybe take a vacation.
So upon leveling up, you get skill points, and you can spend these however you wish. You have 3 different skill trees you can go for: Innovator, Defender, and Webslinger. Defender is more like the combat tree. Webslinger is your aerial mobility tree. Innovator is utility-based, usually in combat. I think it might actually just be in combat, using clever ways to fight enemies. But now with this perfect dodge, you're able to web up any enemies that are literally about to strike you if you time it just right. And you just blind them, not full-on cover them in webs.
Parker, where are you? The committee will be here soon. We need to run an equipment check.
I'm almost there. Blocks away.
Guess I'll just do it myself.
No, don't. It's not safe. Gotta love Doc's enthusiasm, but sometimes it gets him into trouble. Better get there before he hurts himself.
So with the zip to point and point launch maneuvers, you're able to really gain distance on rooftops. Because if there are no nearby buildings around, you won't be able to just web swing. You can just zip to point and then bounce off of whatever you zip to. And that's a good way of keeping your speed up, especially when you're on the higher buildings of Manhattan.
I'm sorry I'm late. You started without me.
The grant committee's director will be here soon. It's fine, Parker. I invented this equipment. I think I can handle it.
Power damper. Oh, man. Maybe we should abort.
Not yet.
Hold on! Dr. Octavius, are you okay?
Another setback. But we're close.
Is anyone hurt?
No, it was all my fault.
The energy levels exceeded our expectations. From a certain viewpoint, that's a very positive development.
It doesn't smell very positive.
I assure you, in the next phase...
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Is there somewhere else we can discuss this?
Maybe you should take the rest of the day off, Peter. But we'll talk later.
That was a disaster. How could the dampener have failed? I know Doc said take the day off, but I have to figure out what went wrong. Ooh, you are in bad shape, little guy. Let's see what's wrong with you.
So do you like circuit puzzles? I know I sure do. One of the many mini games in Spider-Man, or mini segments, you get to rewire some things.
Circuit burned out. Damn it. If I had been here to do the pre-check, I would have caught this.
I believe this is the only time in the game where you're absolutely required to do this. Of course, I might be misremembering and not actually remembering other points in the late game. But yeah, these are pretty fun.
Okay, need to reroute servo control.
You have these directional circuit pieces. They don't offer a whole lot of extra challenge. They're just kind of there.
Nice. Okay, what next? And now rebalance the voltage.
If you're good at basic addition and subtraction, these voltage switches shouldn't be too big a deal for you either.
Finished. Let's see if that worked. Good as new. Doc's been testing new materials for the prosthetics. He asked me to review his work if I had time. May as well dig in now.
So we also have spectrograph projects.
Doc was testing a new contact material for the prosthetic.
Just pick one of the fragments on the left and match it up with a segment on the right. Later on, we'll have to match up multiple fragments with the patterns.
Hydrogel polymer composite. Strong, but there's a lot of impedance. Better tell Doc to keep looking for other materials. All right. I should get out of here before I screw things up for Doc even more.
He says that, but I'm actually going to explore the lab a little bit and play these audio logs.
Today's the day. Grant review. We're ready. The work has progressed at a remarkable pace. I honestly never thought we'd get the tensile actuator back to an acceptable tolerance. But Parker, the boy has an eye for guerrilla science like none other. Just as I was ready to order a custom machine replacement part, he returned from the hardware store with a bottle of solvent and a toothbrush. Bang! Actuator problem resolved. The boy is a genius. A chronically late genius. It's already 10 after. Where is he? Surely he couldn't have forgotten today's review.
Sorry I let you down, Doc.
Peter, thank you again for doing these blind reviews. Peer review is the backbone of great science. You know, as we've prepped for the upcoming fitting, I felt an itch in the back of my brain.
I guess if you walk away from that one too soon, it just cuts off for whatever reason. Let's have a peek around at this melon. There's a soda can called Sup. What's up, soda can? That's cool. Boombox. Well, Peter looks like he's thoroughly enjoying that, so we'll just turn that off. Really cluttered workspaces. Exercise equipment. You just gotta make sure that the prosthetics are working totally fine. Got it all figured out. It's just a matter of execution. It is nice to explore this this lab, just to see all these knickknacks and doodads and stuff.
How many lab fires have we seen now, Otto? 3? 4?
That's how you know we're progressing.
Out of the ashes of failure, great science is born.
Don't think Dr. Octavius' optimism has ever been shaken.
So yeah, if you come up to these guys in the window, you're able to listen in on our conversation a little bit.
Graduation. Feels so long ago. I interned for Doc in college. He made me realize I could do as much good for the world in a lab coat as I could in tights. Maybe more.
Maybe both. Some equations. Another soda can. And some college books. Periodic table. I could swear there are more elements on there than I remember learning in high school. But hey, it's been a while.
Doc's made huge breakthroughs his whole career, but he's always been upstaged. Usually by Oscorp. This time, it's going to be different.
There are also some sticky notes laying around the office.
You know, just yesterday, we saw an extraordinary reaction cascade in the Limbic Bridge.
We're looking for results, not cascades, Doctor.
And results you'll have. Trust me, our work grows more promising every day.
That reaction cascade was pretty awesome. It's amazing how quickly the prosthesis has evolved. I remember when our prototype used parts I ripped out of an old microwave.
Alright, before we leave, we're actually going to do the spectrograph projects that are available to us.
What was Doc working on with this?
I believe every new set of spectrograph projects are unlocked after every story beat that brings you to the lab.
Beautiful.
As for an exact time frame, I'm not totally sure.
Looks like another potential prosthetic contact material.
So now we get to stack multiple fragments to make a full one. Oh, but this one's tricky. It's not asking for that one. It's actually asking for these two. Because there's no third line, or no second line, single fragments.
Oh, hydrogel IPN. This looks promising. Bet it'd be a great tissue interface.
So for completing those, we just get some experience rewards. As we do for the second mini-game we're able to do in here, which is just more circuit projects.
We're trying to improve the prosthetics hardware. I should review what Doc's been developing and double-check his work. Doc was trying to improve the actuator's granularity.
Once we unlock a little more of these circuit projects, via story beats, we're actually able to earn research tokens, which are used for upgrades.
Nice. Super smooth response. See if we can tune the prosthetic's grip force.
So, sometimes there will be a piece in there that you'd never applied, and that's part of the puzzle. You need to take it out and then put it back in somewhere else, because sometimes you won't even have the parts necessary to make a full circuit.
That's better. Should avoid bone-crushing handshakes at least.
And that's all we can really do for the mini-games in here for now.
Was your research assistant late today? What sort of staff are you employing with our money, Doctor?
I'll ask you to leave Peter out of this, please. He's young, still learning, but he's indispensable. A genius in the making.
Wow. Thanks, Dr. Octavius.
Alright, and that should just about do it. So, back to Spidey work. I tried to go back here to see if they have any more lines of dialogue, but no avail.